You were at Harvard when he launched Facebook at Harvard?
So Mark Zuckerberg, I went to college undergrad with me. I was his same classmate. And so Facebook definitely existed before I was starting Learn Invest. But 2007, 2008, when I was starting the idea, Facebook, I think, was founded in like 2004. So it existed, but it was very much, you weren't building your business on Facebook.
So hold on. You were at Harvard when he launched Facebook at Harvard?
Yeah, I was
what was that like?
Classmate. So 2006.
Do you remember when you heard about Facebook?
Do we remember? Are you kidding? You could never have forgotten. I remember at the end of your username would be the number of Facebook user you were, and I was like in the hundreds. So I was like roughly around 150, and you knew it because it was just the most helpful thing on the planet. It'd be like, oh, what's that person's name again? I can look them up. And I always joked with my husband. When my husband asked me out, I couldn't look up who he was yet. He'd asked me out before Facebook existed. And I remember being like, oh, I can't remember who he is. Like, is it this guy or that guy? And it just my kids will never know a world where you can't look somebody up. I mean, it's really powerful. Did you think at that time,
this is going to be a big deal? Or were you like, this is useful for Harvard and that's,
I mean, could you foresee that it was going to be like a $75 billion company? I can't take credit for having something that was that kind of crystal ballish, but you knew it was a big deal. Really quickly, you could just tell. It was the amount of time you were spending on it, how quickly it was spreading. When it went to other colleges and you could look up your friends at those schools, when you could poke people. I mean, it was, to the credit of Mark, it was an incredibly infectious platform.
And did you know him personally or no?
So I didn't know him when we were in undergrad. I met him a handful of times, and I know his family and his siblings pretty well. But no, when he was starting at undergrad, I did not know him.
When it's like, hey, this thing is kind of taken off. I'm a student at Harvard. You were thinking about you dropped out of business school anyways to start a business.
I actually was thinking at that time of dropping out of Harvard to start Learn Invest, basically. So my mom convinced me to graduate. I said to her, I want to go start a company. I know I need to. And my mom was like, can you just graduate, pretty please? I'd gotten into Harvard Business School. And my mom was like, can you at least graduate from college? And to my mom's credit, I did. I'm glad I did. But that itch to go start something was pretty alive. And I, to the credit of a Mark Zuckerberg, when you are so close to seeing businesses get built, I think they called it the Facebook effect, which is when you can see how powerful the internet can be. And if you're a hardworking person who has skills, you're like, maybe I should go do something. But so yes. And I will definitely say, I think Facebook spawns an entire, set of entrepreneurs.
You said you got